right, black and white sports supporters. Well, my goodness, the Indiana Fever pulled it off. Defeated the Las Vegas Aces.
A'ja Wilson and walk away with a W, 80-70. That player right there, Natasha Howard, she came alive.
Imagine being fined for speaking your truth, then turning around and silencing your critics with a jaw-dropping performance. Sophie Cunningham didn't hold back, dropping 15 points and hitting 3 out of 4 from deep, leading the Indiana Fever to stun the defending champs Las Vegas Aces. But why was Sophie fined in the first place? And how did this motivate her explosive comeback? The story behind her response is as fiery as her three-point shooting. Let's unravel it. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Sophie Cunningham's $500 fine wasn't just a punishment, it became fuel. It all started with a social media post that ignited a firestorm. After a game where questionable officiating left players and fans scratching their heads, Sophie didn't hold back. In a now-deleted tweet, she called out the inconsistency with a sharp one-liner, "Can we please get some accountability with officiating? This is embarrassing." That one sentence sent waves through WNBA circles, sparking debates about player conduct, league standards, and whether frustration with officiating was reaching a boiling point.
But Caitlin Clark's hurt. Don't know exactly what's going on there. But she's out for the, let's just say, foreseeable future.
But at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win. And the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP.
And then came the fine, $500 for violating the league's code of conduct. For some players, the backlash would have been enough to convince them to lower their heads and fall in line. Not Sophie. Fans rallied behind her, pointing out that calling out bad officiating wasn't just fair, it was overdue. Social media lit up with posts like, "Someone had to say it," and "The league needs to fix this, not fine players for being honest." But as much as she had her supporters, there were plenty of critics too. Some suggesting Sophie's outspoken nature was a distraction or that the fine could throw off her focus. The league's silence on the officiating itself only added fuel to the debate. By the time Sophie stepped onto the court, all eyes were on her. Imagine this. The energy in the arena was tense, with everyone waiting to see if her performance would back up her words or if the fine had rattled her. You could see it in her body language, calm but locked in.
Kelsey Mitchell, let's go. Right here. Way downtown, boom. Knocks it down right there.
Right, she's been deserving of that starting spot. She was able to get to the line as well. I mean, no turnovers for Sophie Cunningham, 1 turnover for Kelsey Mitchell, 4 assists for Kelsey Mitchell.
From the opening minutes, she played with a relentless edge. Her first basket, a three-pointer right in the defender's face. It set the tone for the entire game. By the end, her 15 points and 3 for 4 shooting from long range weren't just numbers, they were a statement. The fine wasn't shutting her down, it was a spark that lit her up. And this wasn't just about Sophie, it was about setting the tone for something bigger. Beating the reigning champs is never easy. Doing it without your star player? That's a whole different level. The Indiana Fever walked into their matchup against the Las Vegas Aces without Caitlin Clark, and let's be honest, the odds weren't in their favor. The Aces are a powerhouse, loaded with talent, and while the Fever had shown flashes of potential earlier in the season, inconsistency has been their Achilles heel.
A'ja Wilson, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 turnovers for A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson, there's a play. She reaches over AB, literally gives AB a hug.
Low field goal percentage games, 33 and 33, Aaliyah Boston. Sophie, another big game, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 from three-point range, 15 points.
But this game wasn't about who wasn't playing, it was about who stepped up. Natasha Howard was a monster on the court. She dropped 18 points, pulled down 13 rebounds, nabbed 3 steals, and didn't commit a single turnover. Clean, disciplined basketball at its finest. In the third quarter, where games can either break wide open or slip through your hands, Natasha absolutely took over. She scored 11 points in that quarter alone, crashing the boards with purpose and finishing plays like the veteran leader this young Fever team needed. Sophie Cunningham clearly wasn't done making her own mark either. After everything surrounding her find, she backed up her words with ridiculous sharpshooting. The Fever shot 47% from 3 as a team, with Sophie hitting 3 out of her 4 attempts.
0 turnovers for Natasha Howard. There was no, let me go coast to coast, grab a rebound, go coast to coast without giving an outlet pass. There was none of that.
Tonight, Natasha Howard, really, the first half of the game, 6 of 9, 66%, 18 points. I like to see that.
Compare that to the Aces, who couldn't buy a basket from beyond the arc. They shot just 13.3% from deep. That's not a typo. The gap in shooting efficiency tells you everything about where this game was really won. And then there was Kelsey Mitchell, who had a tough start. At halftime, she was just 2 for 10, and it looked like a rough game might be ahead. Instead, something clicked. By the fourth quarter, she was a whole new player, pouring in 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting during the final stretch. It was a mini redemption arc within the bigger story, and it couldn't have come at a better time. The dagger? Arie McDonald's corner three-pointer with just 41 seconds left. It wasn't just any shot, it was the one that made the outcome certain. Add all that to improved ball control in the second half, holding themselves to 3 turnovers, and the Fever didn't just survive, they stunned.
If Caitlin Clark comes back sometime this year, can we see that in games that she's plays in? Can we see that same fire and tenacity for Caitlin Clark when she's busy getting beat up on the court? Can we see some of that?
You're going to call a foul on that. I mean, on that. What are we doing? The phantom touch? Is that what we're doing?
Sophie Cunningham didn't just play, she proved a point. That $500 fine could have shut her down, but instead, it sparked one of her most memorable performances. Her 15 points, including 3 from deep, weren't about the scoreboard. They embodied resilience. The Indiana Fever also sent a message: they can dominate without Caitlin Clark, taking down the defending champions 80-70. But here's the bigger question. If the league tried to silence Sophie and she came back stronger, what does that say about the power of voices in the WNBA? Stay tuned. Her story and the Fever's rise are only just beginning.